Oh man, what is happening, everyone? Welcome on back to the channel. Hope you're having a beautiful day out there wherever you may be. It is Friday at 7:04 p.m. and we are going to do a full, I guess not technically an album listen, but I'm going to put album listen because why not? Bill Nelson, Chimera. I don't even have any information up here about the album or anything. Hold on. It was released 1983. Looking right on Bill Nelson's site right here. So many of you had recommended me to listen to this album, this EP, after we had listened to some Bill Nelson, The Love That Whirls, which was an incredible album. Love that sound. Let me pull up some names of those of you who had recommended this album to me, because there was quite a few of you. There was a lot of albums from Bill Nelson that was or were recommended, but I just popped on this one for the time being. So, some of you that have recommended this, Christian Mueller, you said that. Music by Back in NYC. AK, I believe you mentioned this one as well. Sylvan M, also here in the recommendation list. And Hot Black Desiato. And Cat Dub. And the list does tend to go on from there. So thank you guys so much for the recommendation. We're going to hop ourselves in. Now, part of the reason I chose these recommendations for this specific album is just honestly because of the lineup as well. Like, because you also have Mick Karn on bass. One of my favorite basses from Japan. Duh. Like, come on. If you have Mick Karn on here, I think it's going to be a good time. And then you also have Yukihiro Takahashi on here, whom we listened to the album Neuromantic quite a while ago. And I love that album as well. So I'm really excited to get into this one just kind of based on those laurels alone. You know, of course, Bill Nelson, yeah. And, you know, your recommendations. But, yeah, so I'm excited to dive in. So let us go ahead and begin that journey with these 6 tracks. Beginning that journey with The Real Adventure. Don't forget, if you do enjoy the content, if you enjoy the album listens and blah, 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 press the like button before we even get started. If you want, you can support me on Patreon, little $2 a month. Getting that out of the way ahead of time. Let's dive right in. The Real Adventure. Let's go. I like that deep thrum from that. I love that sound. Such a great sound coming out of that synth. There's that what I call that Sylvian tone. We've heard this before. Love the singing in this as well. His singing really matches the guitar and the wavy synths. Yeah, mallets. That's a startup of a track. That jumps right off the pad right into the pond. Like that's a great opening track. I love the mix of the synths. Of course, the guitar. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But the mix of the synths, the sounds. I'm looking at like not the track list, but the personnel. Who's doing what? Bill Nelson's doing everything in this track except drums, which is handled by Takahashi. So you have the marimba in there, which has such a cool effect with those synths in there because it's like the marimba has not like a bell-like sound, but kind of a bell-like sound. Like bum, 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 bum. And the way that the marimba dances around those sweeping synths and the very vocal tone of the guitar is really, really nice. And speaking of the vocal tone of the guitar, Bill Nelson sings with his guitar so wonderfully. I love the effect that he brings into these long sweeping motions with his guitar because it is very vocal. You know, like when you're speaking, like your voice has different cadences. And I feel like he finds a very specific and notable cadence in the swing of his guitar, which really matches his voice and the way he's singing, especially when he's going into his falsettos. Like not like that high, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. And of course, like I said, Takahashi on the drums, so you're going to have this really nice rhythmic swing and energy to kind of go along with everything here. Now, one thing I didn't look up, which I guess I should really quickly as I'm talking about it, is within Bill Nelson's discography, I actually I don't know off the top of my head, and why would I, know where this comes in relation to Love That Whirls. I don't know if this comes before or after. So this was released 1983. I'm looking at that right now. And then I'm looking right now for Whirl. Let me just do a Control F to find that really quick. That'll make this a little bit quicker. Love That Whirls, 1982. Okay, so this came after Love That Whirls, which I'm going to say now makes sense as it does sound like a slight evolution in the sound. Now, I would say that this particular track does have a little bit more of that kick to it, that rhythmic kick to it. I would credit that with Takahashi, but, it's a little bit too early to really say indefinite. So let's go ahead with that. The lyrics on this particular track, The Real Adventure. A rebel thought in my mind, my hungry heart in the hands of time. A secret risk, the harder line, the price of love for the perfect crime. The real adventure, the real adventure. Another place, another time, a certain grace, your hand in mine. Like a miracle, our hearts combine. The slow embrace, a love divine. So what is that real adventure? I can only assume due to the lyrics and what he's describing, the real adventure is the beginning of this relationship with him and whoever else, and that is where the adventure starts. That is where their love and their journey begins. Their romance gets its start. So that is the real adventure, that passion. Let's go ahead and move on, if you will indulge me, into the next track here. That is going to be Acceleration. So we got the start with Real Adventure. Now we're going to begin to pick up speed. Let's go. Can I tell you? Acceleration to me, I know it's only the second track on the album, but it feels like the party track to me. This feels like the song that you would put on. Listen, it's a beach party. You know, you bring your boombox. Just bear with me. We're going down technology lane. Where you bring your boombox to the beach. Don't get sand in the speakers. You put this in there, and you just let the second track ride. And I think everyone's having a great time. People are dancing. You see people playing volleyball. You see, I don't know, a kid in Riptide. Playfully, he's playing. But like, I don't know, you see sandcastles, people digging holes for no reason apparently, and people gathering around the people digging holes because people are attracted to people digging holes and want to dig a hole. Let's dig a hole, let's see where it goes. I don't know. But like, you're getting this really nice summer beach vibe from this. At least that's the mental imagery from that I get. Like, you have that nice 80s pulse bass, that bum 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 bum, just like sporadically dancing in this kind of electrifying pattern. Then once again, you have those synths, and what I really like is that this track is pretty repetitive. But in that, in the chorus, you know, you have the acceleration, right? The first half of that chorus, there's this kind of like openness to it. You have this like ambience of synth that's just kind of floating underneath everything. The rhythm kind of remains a little bit more static. Things kind of are parsed out a little bit more. But then when it comes back on the second half of that verse, it kind of feels like a return to orbit and a return to Earth moment, I should say. Where like everything kind of slaps back into place and it's like, duh, I don't know, it becomes a little bit more, not aggressive, because that's a little bit too harsh of a word, but a little bit more, has a little bit more oomph, a little bit more of that kick to it, you know? I just really like how that works, because that split tone, I guess you could say, from the more open, melodic, into that snap back into place, just kind of vibe with it, that movement feels really good in the music here. Like I said, as repetitive as it is. That feels nice with it. Let's get into these lyrics here. Burn my boats, burn my money, time to make some changes, time to hit and run. So burn my boats, there's no turning back, there's no crossing the sea again. You're on the other shore, you burn your boat, that's where you are. Burn my money, same thing. You're burning your money, you're starting over completely fresh. Build on hope. Hope lasts forever. Time to make, or time to take some chances, time to hit and run. So we're building a new foundation on hope. Hope lasts forever. Acceleration. I'm kissing the pink, making some trouble. Time to ring the changes. Time to work it out. Chasing my tail. I'm seeing double. Time to make a move. Time to sort it out. Time to restart this life. To kickstart. Well, restart and then kickstart and refresh this life. So now, like I said, acceleration, gaining speed, moving towards this new place, this new hope, to quote Star Wars. Anyways, let's move into the next track here, which is going to be Every Day Feels Like Another New Drug. So, all right, this is just me spitballing here. Even though, as far as I know, this isn't a concept album or anything, I mean, just looking at the titles of these first three tracks does have a kind of sequential thought to it. The Real Adventure, you could say, begins. Acceleration, speeding up. Every day feels like another new drug. Now you're getting into the rotation. The pace of every day is like something exciting. Maybe something a little dangerous. I don't know. Let's find out. Here we go. Don't you like that sound? I like how he sways his voice there. I like that deep note and how it rings out. That's a dark touch to it, huh? hear it? I love the way that deep sound comes out of nowhere. There's the marimba again. And sax. I hear you. Now we're ripping it up. Hello. I like how it cuts off there at the end. I like that little cutoff. All right. So I'm listening to this track, and you know what I'm noticing? Let me pull up the personnel again really quick. You know what I'm noticing? Just how densely layered the sound is. Are you guys hearing that as well? Is it just me? The actual layering of the synths, the guitar, you got some saxophone coming in here a little bit more. Probably is it Ian Nelson? Ian Nelson there. What else you got? Extra drums, percussion. Okay, we don't need all that. But just, all the synthesizers, the guitar, the bass. Bill is killing the bass line in there if you're listening for it. And I like how at the very end the bass line comes back in a way, but it sounds like either it's put through like a heavy saw synthesizer, so you have that rough edge sound to it, that like not exactly that, but it's a rougher tone and edge kind of sound on the synths. I really like that. But among the synth, once again, you have all those beeps, those chirps. All right, there's one sound in there, and I don't know why this is what it reminded me of, but when you have like a package and they have duct tape on it, you just take that duct tape and you just rip it off. One of the sounds in there is like that, but it sounds a lot cooler. And then you have that really cool moment that happens a few times in the track where that deep, I don't know what it is, but that deep note, it sounds like a very metallic, cold sound. It hits, and then it sustains that note, and it brings a certain dark shadow into the music itself, which is kind of interesting how that changes everything. Because the initial blips and the pulse of the music is bip, 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 like it's kind of fast, right? Almost Morse code-ish. But then when that little note, well, not even little, it's a big note, when that metallic note is hit, it kind of brings this edge, this shadowy element into the music, which I just thought was really cool every time that occurred, because it did seem to change the rest of the soundscape that Bill was creating there. That was nice. I like that. I'm enjoying myself. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself. The lyrics here. Hand on hip, the way we live, the give and take and give. Hand on heart, the way we love, the way we love. I repeated the line. Stop and start, the push and shove. So I like the two lines. So first, hand on hip, right? The way we live, what we take, what we give. Okay. Hip, give, movement, sure. Then hand on heart, how we love. I like that. The way the lyrics change, I like that kind of thing. Stop and start, the push and shove, giving and taking once again, just in a different way. I can't remember feeling so sad, changing places, going back, walking in the night. Push my luck and take your chance, make my dreams come true, break this trance. Hold your tongue and bite my lip. Ooh, I like that. Hold your tongue, bite my lip. Fatal fascination, lose my grip. I can't remember feeling so strange, changing phrases, words rearranged. Every day feels like another new drug, drink my fill, still can't get enough. I like that quick rhyme into the next verse as well. So I like how he ends this with every day feels like a new drug. Drink my fill, and he still can't get enough. Literally, yes, like a drug and like an addiction. And he can't get enough of every new day because every new day is an opportunity for him to see something, for him to live and explore whatever he's exploring in life, you know? I just really like the way that he brought that all together in the end lyrically. Anyways, this is the shortest album flip I'm sure that we've ever done on the channel. This is the shortest one, and now we are moving on into the second side of this mini album, this EP here. And opening the second side is going to be Tender is the Night, and I see here that everything on this particular track is credited to Mr. Nelson himself. So let's see what he comes up with here. Here we go. Bass line though. I like how he's swinging his guitar with that bass line and the drums. Bass line and then the flips, the little chirps and beeps. Simple chords that come in. That bass line, every time I hear it come around, feels like I'm flying. You already know what I'm gonna say. Oh, you already know. Okay. Let's see how well you guys know JP. Let's see how well you do on this little pop quiz, okay? What two words am I about to say? What two words am I about to say after listening to Tender is the Night? Because you know I'm going to say two words. You know what one word is. You already know what one word is. What's the other word? I'm going to say something. I'm going to say it. Say it once. I might say it twice, but never thrice. Alchemy Index. That bass. Now, look at this. I'm looking at the personnel, right? At the outset of this, I mentioned Mick Karn. He's not even playing in any of these tracks until the next track, which is Glow World, which I'm going to tell you right now, I have very high expectations. However, I know that Bill Nelson is known as a guitarist, singer, a lot of other things. But he's playing that bass. Is he in any way known as like a standout bass player? Because there's one thing I'm a sucker for. Doesn't matter the genre, just a good bass line, a fat bass line, so fat you can slap it in and say, "What you doing?" Like, oh man. And it's kind of unique. It's one of those nice bass lines that has movement up and down the fret. It's just not. Was that Crescendos by Daft Punk? It's one of those bass lines that has a little bit of that. This isn't what the bass line was, but that. That's swing by Japan. But like that's what I like. I like that movement up and down where you can really hear that sliding notes. Like that just feels like movement to me. That's like the musical equivalent of movement in the rhythm and specifically in the bass line. And that's one reason why I do like Mick Karn so much. But listening to this bass line, it's so mellow, it's very fluid. It does move you, or at least it moves me very well. And then once again, I'm going to mention the S word, that bass line surrounded by these beautiful reflecting lights of synth work that are here just a little bit more restrained, a little bit more subtle in their approach, but not too subtle. It's still very dense. We still have that atmosphere we've had from before. But just sounding absolutely incredible. Nelson himself sounds incredible on here. Fitting, so satisfying in the track. I'm going to tell you right now, we're most of the way done with this album. This is the best track on the album at this particular point. We got two more. And the next one does have Mick Karn. So, you know, it could change. It could change. But at this moment, Tender is the Night is easily my favorite track on the album. Running, hiding, seeking, finding out about you. Dancing, jiving, changing my timing, chiming for you. Tender is the night, tender is the night. Sleeping, walking, dreaming, aching, shaking for you. Living, dying, feels like I'm flying into the blue. Laughing and smiling, falling and rising, shining for you. All these things he's feeling, all these emotions that he's going through, he's feeling them for you, this particular person that he's singing to. My head's in a spin, now I'm walking on water with you. My heart's in my mouth when I'm walking on water with you. So he's feeling a lot of feelings, a lot of different things. Nervousness, butterflies in his stomach, romance, passion, a little bit of fear, perhaps. Like, there's a lot of emotions in what he's feeling with this person, but also just in general, a relationship in the first place. Now, you know I'm excited to listen to Glow World, which is the next track on this album. Mick Karn, Yukihiro Takahashi, Preston Heyman, no offense, just never heard of him, and then of course Bill Nelson. Oh, listen. If Mick Karn plays Glow World and it's just a bum 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 bum, it's not gonna be. But listen, give me that bass. I'm ready for it. I'm ready. Here we go. I like that distant guitar. That's a different sound, huh? zipper sound. See how Karn is singing with Nelson? It's an interesting change. Nelson swarmed out of there from the side. Almost like a violin-like sound. That is a really cool change. That violin, it sounds like one. I don't see what you're ready. That's it. It's already fading out. I could have stayed in that world a little bit longer. You know, that's the making of a good track, right? When it makes you want to stay in the song just a little bit longer. Because I could have stayed in Glow World a little bit longer. All right, pop quiz. 2 words. I'm going to say 2 words. Let's see if you were paying attention. Here we go. What are the 2 words that JP is about to mention? Did you pay attention? Did you study? Did you take the test? All right. 2 words I'm going to say. Second favorite. What did you think I was going to say? This is already my second favorite track on the album, Glow World. And yes, some of you are correct because it is because of that bass. Mick Karn. Choose your 2 words because either of them work. Oh, man. What I was explaining before is what I was getting to, talking about Mick Karn. Do you see how he slides up and down the fretless? Do you see how it gives that very particular wow kind of sound, like a very specific vibrato? But not only that, but I love the way that Karn ends all the runs with that little, like, I can't do it exactly, but that, like, I say like a zipper sound. To me, it sounds like a kind of zipper, like he's zipping, not him, but like, wow. He's zipping the bass. And I love the way he ends that because it's almost like, I don't know anything about guitars, but you know how like, you guys are going to make fun of me. But you know how like when guitarists, they're like playing something, right? And then like a lot of times they'll go like, wow, or something. And then they'll like start a new pattern or something. I don't know why my hand's still high, like a sitar. It's almost like he's doing that. It's like he's pressing the restart button on his bass line so he can go back and start it over while throwing in a few liberties as well. Once again, the track is just surrounded by the beautiful animal of the synth lines, the singing from Nelson. Everything just sounds incredible in here. I love the drumming. I like the sounds of the drums too because, yeah, they do have a little bit of that V drum sound that I don't particularly care for in a lot of cases. Here, I think it works quite nice. I like that change up, that shift as it gets into the more snare-led pattern on the drums. I think that's a nice change because even the atmosphere at that point changes. The guitar from Nelson, you have a violin-like sound, which there's not violin credited, but it does sound like violin. Now, back when we listened to Love That Whirls, there was a sound in there that I knew was Nelson on his guitar, but you guys told me kind of what he was using on the guitar to make that sound. And I would like to say that's the same thing here. Now, you would think that I would remember what you guys had told me, because several of you told me. I believe, maybe it was an Ebo? Maybe. You told me what it was, but I'm just being honest, I cannot remember what you told me. But I would venture to say that it's the same thing that's being used here. And what a great sound it is. What a great effect it makes in the music. Because even the music has a little bit of like an Eastern chord vibe and pattern to it, I would say, in the guitar sound. Especially before that snare-led change. Which just adds a little bit of like that mysticism, that mystery to the music. Great track. Second favorite. Bass line. That bass. Mick Karn, Bill Nelson. Lyrics. Her jewels are the stars tonight. I watch as her thieves arrive. I watch them with jealous eyes. From my window, this world is aglow. She drifts in an endless curve through shadows and metaphor. Body signal and semaphore. From my window, their eyes are aglow. She laughs as pain begins. I swoon in the grip of sin. Alone with her burning skin, for a moment this room is aglow. She sleeps in my arms tonight. I watch as her dreams arrive. I watch her with hungry eyes. In my mirror, her face is aglow, glow world. So, interesting that before in the first verse, he describes thieves basically coming to steal this person, to steal their beauty, to steal their jewels, or this person is a jewel that they're trying to steal. And then later on, he's I guess you could say comforting this person, this thing, this metaphor. I mean, he even mentions metaphor, which I would say this is probably a metaphor, not necessarily like a person. It's probably a metaphor for maybe a place, maybe? I don't know. What am I talking about? But either way, he's finding himself the protector and the comforter of this person, place, or thing, whichsoever this person represents here. Anyways, let's move on to the final track of this EP. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'm having a great time. Hope that you are as well. Last track here is going to be Another Day, Another Ray of Hope. Heard that right? Okay, let's go. That's a hot drum beat. I like that deep. Okay. I like that quick pulse once again, but those beat piano chords to enrich the music here. Just a two-step. And then his guitar singing it as well on the side. That's great in those notes. sounds really, really inspirational. Hold it for a little bit. Comes right in. Phil Collins. I mean, even without the music itself, even the title of the track, Another Day, Another Ray of Hope, gives some sort of encouraging and inspirational message to us. And here in the music, you're fighting that motivation. This is musical motivation because, okay, it doesn't sound like what I'm about to mention, but it gives the same feeling as Chariots of Fire. It gives that same movement, emotion, like move forward, push forward through the trials that you're facing, push through that motivation. Like I said, it's not that it sounds like that. It just gives me the same feeling listening to it as you would listening to Vangelis with Chariots of Fire. Listening to this, it becomes more and more apparent to me. This is just me going off on a side tangent, by the way. Like why David Sylvian chose to work with Bill Nelson on some of his music and albums is because Nelson has such a unique way of creating atmosphere with his guitar. We've heard it in Love That Whirls. We are hearing it clearly here. And just the way that he like sustains certain notes and manipulates the notes into certain vibrations and sounds just sounds really, really unique. It's truly a unique atmosphere that he brings into the music with his guitar. Once again, the playing isn't like who I'm about to say, but it's a unique facet just the same way as, oh God, I had his name and now I just, oh no, I just watched a video with him last night. Discipline Era, King Crimson, oh my God. Adrian Belew. That took me way too long to think of. It reminds me in a sense of Adrian Belew. Like, they just have certain tones and styles when they play the guitar that are very apparent, very unique, and bring a completely new flavor and dimension into the music. And like I said, here with Another Day and really throughout the album, you're getting that, of course, of that kind of 80s synth-led, pulse-led vibe that you're also having in there. But it's that wave of atmosphere that he brings underneath and everything. Yes, that was a Sylvian reference as well. That I think really makes the album swing, but also feel its own swing. Lyrics on here are pretty quick on this one. So now the summer's gone, we live our lives alone beneath these winter stars. Our silver turns to gold. I like that. There's a positive change. Another day, another ray of hope, another way to say hello. What can I say? How can I help you cope? How can we hold on to today? So now our time has come. We chase the autumn sun across the burning fields. Our tears begin to run. Another day, another ray of hope. Another day, another ray of hope. So while the day may have its struggles, while the day may have its difficulties, you still have that ray of hope at the end of the day that leads you to hope that the next day is a new opportunity for some new beginnings and for some forward momentum and forward movement in your life. This was a great little EP. I like how it really does feel like to me, like a cousin, I guess you could say, to Love That Whirls. And like I said before, my favorite tracks are easily Tender Is the Night, easily, and then Glow World. Let's get into some of these little facts here. I'm on Bill Nelson's website here. And it says that this album was originally to be called Sextet, but Nelson changed his plans when Ultravox issued their Quartet album in late 1982, preferring that the title had no immediate associations with that album. Which I guess I can see how he'd want to distance himself, from another band that had a similar sounding name in their album. Let's see. It says, this is from Bill himself. Yuki Takahashi, simply sent me a selection of different beats, and I wrote the music to lay on top of them and overdubbed my parts to create the song. Nothing was worked out before, so he just got the beats from Takahashi and said, all right, I'm just going to slap all my stuff onto it. Another Day, Another Ray of Hope is one of those rare songs that I can still listen to without cringing. Kind of like the last track on Flow That Whirls. It's the one track that really endears Chimera to me. In fact, it's on my proud of list. I think it hasn't dated as much as some music from that era for some reason, despite the 80s style instrumentation. Probably because it is completely without irony and is direct from the heart. And he says he can't recall if Another Day was ever considered as a potential single or not. To be honest, I wasn't really involved much with the commercial thoughts back then, and even less so now. In fact, I'm probably the worst person anyone could consult regarding popular taste, especially as getting a hit has always been more to do with calling in favors and manipulating the media than quality of the music itself. And then he says, oh, the tales I can tell, kiddies. Tell! Tell! By all means, say it. And then I don't want to read fan thoughts. I don't care about what the fans say. I care about what you say, but not. Anyways, thank you guys for the recommendation. I hope that you enjoyed this album listen, EP. I'm still putting album listen. I'm still putting it. But I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know your favorite track out of these 6 here. Let me know if you had a good time. I hope that you did. Don't let me know if you had a bad time. If you enjoyed the video, you can press the like button. You can share the video and all that other stuff. You can follow me on Twitter or support me on Patreon. But I hope that you had a good time here today. Hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. And I will talk to you all tomorrow, guys. Bye.